Hello, SpeedGaming 2. Welcome to this first round playoff match of the 2025 main tournament between ScottishBrave44 and Steinchen. I'm Aria Stark 2942 on comms, and we are playing Kabuki today. Steinchen enters today's match up 1-0 in the best of 3 series. He beat Brave in what looked like a pretty gross cross-key seed. I think it was either yesterday or 2 days ago. So for Steinchen, it's a win and advance. For Brave, she needs to win to keep her tournament hopes alive. And this is Kabuki. It's like a cast boot start. You get the boots, you get the sword. You're going to go through the escape sequence, but it is ADQ sanity on top of this. The question here early on is, hey, are we going to get to go into Castle Tower in order to be able to complete the escape sequence? So the runners did drop the gate. We see on Steinchen's side the countdown. Oh, Uncle walking out with the sword, so it's going to be a nice little Master Sword start. I'm kind of interested to see if either a nice 10 bomb pack too. I'm kind of interested to see if either of these players opts to take that Uncle sword and go straight into Castle Tower. Because pretty much if you find a second sword, you find a cape here early in the Kabuki start, you're pretty much thinking, yeah, we're going into Castle Tower for something. There's that Master Sword. Didn't even need to have an actual sword in your hand prior to getting it. Now, both players opting to grab some magic. So we're gonna see both of them go all the way through Zelda's cell here and then see what's going on. I think this is probably the right play. You know, we're gonna have to get these 3 items and Princess Zelda anyway, and then you can come out if you do have to go to Castle Tower. You can push the mantle, go into Castle Tower, and then save and quit off of the Castle Tower play and get right back to the mantle. Yeah, we have not seen anything of interest in these first 2 chests here in Hyrule Castle. Again, at this point, I'm kinda not expecting to. The Hyrule Castle Small is what we are looking for. And at this point it is, well, with that Master Sword, it was already kinda looking like Castle Tower's gonna be the thing. Very nice ball and chain kill by both players. Different approaches, but it gets the job done. Get a 4th heart for their trouble. And obviously the one down shot about Kazboot start, Kabuki start is that it's going to be pretty much identical for both players. This mode does, again, offer that possibility for going into Castle Tower that you don't see in casual boots, but we're going to be seeing basically all the same stuff from both players until we get out of here. And then things are going to hopefully start getting interesting. We do have Brave using her customary Charizard sprite. That looks like, I think, maybe Psyduck with a festive hat on. Alright, so Steinchen is going straight to Castle Tower. Brave is going to, at the very least, move the mantle. It's a Pokeball. Interesting version of the dinner bell strat there by Steinchen. Oh, Brave is going to see if Hyrule Castle Small is in Dark Cross. It's... Oh, we got a lay... What? Oh, we're going to find... Are we going to find Castle Tower 1 here in Dark Cross? That's not great for Steinchen if that's the case. You sure are. Brave does not have a small key. She doesn't remember that. Brave, you can't run out of escape. So if Brave had save and quit there, that would have been really great for her. But now she's running backwards and is not going to be able to get out of here. Yeah, she realizes it. And alright, so she's going to save and quit. But again, she moved the mantle, so that's where the new save and quit point is. So in spite of that backtracking, Brave is still a little bit ahead here. Yeah, this is, like, again, the options are kind of limited for this Castle Tower aspect, but yeah, this is probably the grossest kind of thing that you can have, because Dark Cross is in logic with the light cone. Steinchen made a reasonable gamble going up there. The odds were pretty good that the Hyrule Castle Small was just going to be first chest, but it is actually going to be here in the maze. One of the least enjoyable aspects of AD keys most of the time is the Castle Tower Small Hunt. So both players already have won. I'm sure we're not going to have to last locate Castle Tower 2 regardless of this, right? No, not in this game. Alright, so there's that Hyrule Castle Small for Brave, and now she can complete the escape sequence. On behalf of SpeedGaming 2, I thank you, Squishy Panda, for the Tier 1 sub. Welcome on in. We are 6 minutes into a Kabuki seed that's seen both players have to go to Dark Cross for Castle Tower 1, and then head back into Hyrule Castle to complete the escape sequence. So Steinchen got burned a little bit by gambling on Castle Tower. Brave got burned a little bit by initially backtracking after getting that Castle Tower small key. But now we're going to see what's in the back of Escape here. It's a Meyer map. First bottle, that's nice. One additional check you can make in Kakariko. Players did get that 10 bomb pack right at the outset, so they're set on that front. There has been basically no money in this escape sequence, so that's lacking. And 20 in Sank, it's a nice start. So Brave, the first one out of Sank, Steinchen right behind. Similar to a casual boots, you're pretty much going to try to just knock out these high density areas, even with the lack of money here for Kakariko. There's Castle Tower small number 2 for Scottish Brave. So, alright, so it will not be a Castle Tower small hunt. And unless it's necessary for Dark World access, we are not going to see either of these players beating Castle Tower 2 until after GT now. Did not see what Brave peaked on Lumberjack. It is a small key, so that's TBD. Feels perhaps slightly scarier having both of the Castle Tower smalls, but Steinchen doing the tree pull, getting 20 rubies off of that. Brave did not do the tree pull, so Steinchen's got bottle guy money here. Brave picked up an ice small and does not want the $50 in the drop down. If it's a big key, then that's definitely more significant. Oh, it's a big key. Well, thank you. Thank you, chat, for the correction. It's hard to see when they just peek the bottom. Alright, so that's, yeah, that's definitely going to be something that's weighing on your mind with both of these castle tower keys in tow. Which would, then make beating that castle tower play certainly something that you would consider earlier. Got a nice flute, a mushroom. That's fun. The OK boomerang, and more bombs. So pretty solid blind set here. Flute makes dealing with the mushroom that was also found pretty easy. Got a couple checks on the mountain, but especially in a keys mode, you definitely want to be greeting the mountain as much as you can. Brave into the well, getting her first pod small. Picking up Samaria as well. Brave is still short of bottle guy money. She did eschew several. Oh, she's gonna sell the good bee from the bottle for $100 and then pay it right back for $300. Wow, what an economy! Yeah, that's just good investing right there. So Brave, activating our flute. Still have 5 checks here. 3 in CAC, 2 south of CAC. Steinchen also with the heads up to sell the bee. Does remember to go back to the bottle guy to get his $300. And a big key to swamp in Chicken Hut. That is another TBD. The non-required big keys, you always like to have them before you go into a dungeon. Because those are the end-of-game stray checks that definitely feel bad. Sick Kid is doing so well that he can spare $20. Brave just doesn't want the money in this seed. She is going to peek race game, flute away if it's nothing, and it's nothing. Players have different opinions on race game and keys modes, especially Steinchen is going to do the other standard play, which is just check it. Just go get it. But meanwhile, in the front of the dam here, Brave has picked up a hook shot, so that's some additional stuff up on the mountain. Oh, Steinchen forgot to activate his flute. I was wondering if he'd actually done that. Sunken item is Hera Basement key at the dam. Yeah, I mean, all of you play this enough, all of us have gone to do other stuff instead of remembering to activate a flute. Sounds most certainly not what you want, but let's see if Brave picks up this full magic. She does not. Brave is just zooming today. She does pick up a shield, which I'm sure is going to brighten her day. Plus a mirror. Plus gloves, so very nice mini Moldorm cave. The mirror opens up access to Hera. Brave could get 5 of 6 checks right now. couple of those would not be in logic. Steinchen following Brave's footsteps. He's got his hook shot. He's gonna get his hair basement key. Brave is out in Ice Rod Cave. Unlike Steinchen, she does not have sewer money. So, and Brave also not setting up a water walk here, so she's just gonna flute off. Makes sense. Brave's gonna junk the mushroom, so there's not gonna be a scum possibility here because she's picked up too many items since the last time that we had any kind of save and quit. And it's just a piece of heart. Tin's got his glove, got his mirror, he's got his shield here. Yeah, we got Brave going up to the mountain. That hook shot put the right side into play. The mirror again puts these hair options into play. There are a couple of routes that could be taken here. Brave could opt to save Gary up here on the mountain and then use the hook shot to go to the right side and then determine whether she wants to do the rest. Or she could just head north, do the 2 spec rock checks, and go straight into Hera. Yeah, it looks like that's what she's going to choose. So, we will get a new check here from Steinchen. Alright, so the spec rock check's not terribly interesting. Very cute bunny sprite on Scottish Brave side. Alright, Steinchen picking up more money from our friend off the bridge. And there is a bow here in the basement cage of Hera, so that is a nice early pickup. Plus the Moon Pearl. Okie doke game. I would be surprised if Steinchen is not right on Brave's heels after doing these water checks. He didn't pull anything from the autologic stuff here. Waterfall Fairy did not put anything in his bottle. That seems pretty rude, but he's moving on. And with 300 bucks from the guy under the bridge, Steinchen's pretty well set for money for the remainder of the seed. Brave is doing Hera Basement, which I think, especially at this part of the stage, you are pretty well committed into doing. That key was free. You have to make this Hera dive anyway. And the hammer. Okay, so yeah, right? Just get the last 2 parts of our Dark World access plus a bow in the first 3 things, and there's nothing on Zora, so those plays didn't work out great for Steinchen. He's heading back to Hyrule Castle, I presume, to do Castle Tower. Now, this does give access to Pyramid Ledge as a bunny. It also gives access to that big key that's on Lumberjack. I think this is a pretty reasonable play here. It also does establish the Aga portal. With Glove and Hookshot, I think it is there's reason to believe that there's the possibility that you just get Moon Pearl somewhere, and that might be your intended Dark World access. I don't think Steinchen does this if there isn't a big key on Lumberjack. I think it's kind of that simple, plus the fact that we've already seen the Swamp big key pop it makes it even more likely that it's going to be a required big key. Brave has defeated Boldorm, gets the green pendant for her troubles. That's not in logic yet, but it's on the board, and this is an 80 mode, so we got to do it. With hammer and toe, Brave can just dash across the bridge here. This is a nicer route, and we got a small key on Floating Island. That visible key is definitely a small key. So that's another TBD. Glove away from that being in play. It looks like the stun prize today is 20 rupees, so there's basically no avoiding money in this seed. Well, unless you do what Brave did. Hey, look, it's Mitts. They're right here. Just come to the mountain, and you've got all your dark world access. It's super convenient. You get to do dark Death Mountain on top of Light Death Mountain. What a time to be alive. Steinchen coming to the end of Castle Tower. Nice hook speed. Brave's given us the first look at Paradox. Picks up a second pod small. Second bottle, and yeah, that's just about it. They can't all be winners. And since this is an 80 mode in this tournament, on the right side, Aga is not going to shoot any blue balls. So at the very least, the fact that you have to fight Aga, it's not going to be a prolonged, extra boring experience. Yep, nope, that is correct. Yep, thank you, Phantom. No Ganon warps either. It looked like Ledger's... yeah, Ledger's sad. It was Ether for Turtle Rock Country. Brave has pulled the book up in Super Bunny. So that's an additional check that can get done up here. Steinchen setting up the fake flipper for the quicker access to the lumberjack tree. So this big key is actually pretty important because Brave just had a ton of stuff open, and I really don't think that this key is actually going to be high on her radar until a lot of other stuff gets completed. It is the big key. 2 thieves, so there's hard required. So nice early get for Steinchen. And he is going to join Brave here on the mountain, so he's going to catch up on the overload of excellent items that are to be found here. Floating Island small key is another pod small. The Moon Pearl was in Tower of Hera, as is a bow, as is our second glove. No, our second glove was right. That was Spiral, I believe. It's all up here. It's been a loaded mountain. So just a compass on Ether tablet. And Brave is gonna make this Aga play too. Now this works out a little bit better for Brave. With the Moon Pearl, she can just continue her route, possibly knock out one of her favorite checks, Catfish, into like mirror checks, get the Lumberjack tree, and then do Dark World that way, but there's also a ton of other options. And the good news for Brave is, by doing this Aga play early, she is not going to be chasing Steinchen with regard to that Thieves Town big key. So these two players are going to be on fairly similar footing after their respective plays here, and then it's going to become interesting to see what decisions get made. Did this seed have Hyrule Castle small in CT? It did. It had Castle Tower 1 in Dark Cross for Lamp in the first chest, for Hyrule Castle small in the second. Brave got her mitts in Spiral Cave. So Steinchen, now with hammer in tow, is... I'm actually not sure why he was killing those guys. With hammer in tow, is also going to make his way over to that side of the mountain. Yeah, I think with the hookshot pickup, he's okay for this herb. Yeah, he is. If he had picked up that heart just floating regularly, I believe it would have screwed up his Terrapot setup, but no worries. Forgetting that he doesn't have the big key. Very understandable. Yeah, this seed has really just been follow the items thus far. Brave into her Aga fight. She is likely to get the same amount of blue balls as Steinchen did. Steinchen into his Moldorm fight. Probably also about to get the same amount of blue balls from this as Brave did. Yeah, after this mountain though, the options are really plentiful. I think it's a little easier for Steinchen to make plays, having already beaten Aga and having that Thieves Town big key, whereas Brave, I think, is kind of needs to prioritize getting the big key off Lumberjack, which will send her toward that northwest Dark World area. Hello, Tyler. Ledgers was sad. It's a sad day for Ledgers. Maybe in the future. Welcome to a pretty jetty start to Ibuki. Pretty straightforward. Brave checking Catfish as she is wont to do. $20. So, combos for Meyer, plenty of arrows in Meyer's shed. So Steinchen is about to get his mitts. The Meyer area has largely been a dud this far. Looks like, yeah, Brave is just going to opt against Ezra right now. That makes sense. That dive for 2 items is kind of blah. So she's going to give us our first look at Agina. And then presumably, well, presumably save and quit to the mountain and then make a decision. Or run out, never mind. So Steinchen into the Dark Death Mountain checks. He's going to get a book out of this. So Brave's going to go to the Village of Outcast portal here. Once she gets the Lumberjack key, she will also have the ability to beat thieves, but she's going south first. Oh, she's going to do the loop, so like, presumably mirror checks into Lumberjack, or Lumberjack into Skull. Small key on Bumper Ledge. That's the second visible small key we've had this far. Steinchen's going to get the other one in just a moment, which I believe was another pod small. But Brave is about to pick up her Thieves Town Big. Makes that dungeon exceptionally beatable. It is so beatable. I mean, it's literally the only beatable dungeon we have right now, so... Alright, so Brave is going to eschew Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb. Eschew the front of Skull. It's easy enough to get back to Skull Woods. But with this Thieves Big in tow, it would not surprise me if she makes this play into Thieves here. Perhaps you give these 3 checks the opportunity to show with the small key. I mean, it's not required, of course. Alright, Steinchen gonna get his compass from Ether Tablet, and now he's kind of in decision mode. He might be doing Spike Cave here, actually. Does have that bottle with the red potion. No safety items, so hopefully the bushes could drop some hearts for him. Got one. Can dupe it? No. Oh, he's gonna give it another look. Alright. Brave picks up a GT small from the front of Thieves. Alright, there's the fairy Steinchen was looking for. 7 hearts. Has hookshot, has that red potion. Brave picking up half magic. So this is gonna be tight for Steinchen. Very tight. And he's just like, no, he does not believe he's got the hearts to get that done. So that's a little unfortunate. Not in logic, but you know, if you ever have a failed Spike Cave play, that just feels bad, and it feels like something you do not want to return to anytime soon. I do see here that Thieves Town is a pendant. So that's 2 of our 3 pendants that include stuff that we do not need anything in GT for, having already beaten Hera out of logic, and this dungeon is technically out of logic right now. Alright, so with mountain stuff done, Steinchen is now going to make his own decisions here. Again, a ton of stuff is open, but it doesn't feel as great given that only Thieves Town is beatable. But this is also a tendency of 80 keys modes, where you start having to make choices. And I think it's very reasonable this play to follow Brave's footsteps and head to the Mire area. It's going to give you the Mire medallion info. You're going to knock out a couple pretty reasonably quick checks. We will see if he does a dive into desert that Brave did not. Alright, so Thieves thus far has not been terribly interesting. Half magic is great, you'll love it, but it's not going to move the needle. Brave getting the potion out just in case anything decides to go sideways in this blind fight. And Steinchen is going to give a look here at this desert play. Brave did take a hit from one of the heads. She does use this potion. Smart job. Make sure you don't die in this fight. She has a blue in her back pocket anyway. And that's another pot small. Again, not in logic, but that's 4 of them for Brave. So neither player has touched the pod eastern area, and that has to be feeling pretty decent. Brave with the accidental hookshot past the brewery here. It did not look like Steinchen got anything from the middle chest in desert. So Brave is not missing out on anything there. So we're going to see Dig Game, presumably into Smith Chain all the way through Bombo's Tablet, Purple Chest Turn In, Hype Cave, and then, again, like, decisions have to be made, but depending on what shows up, right now the decision is probably the Pod Eastern area. Got a Mire Small and Dig Game, can't do much with that. So Steinchen also into the village portal, but he is going to start going north. So these are checks we did not see from Brave. Neither player has picked up any Skullwood small keys. Obviously we do not yet have Fire Rod. Alright, Hammer Pegs has another Mire Spall. Thanks, game. We'll get right to using those. Did not see what Steinchen picked up in that first chest of skill. Do not see another Y item on the tracker at least, but... Oh, ooh. Fire Rod in the vanilla big key chest of skull. That's kind of gross for Brave, I gotta say. As this is going to permit Steinchen to beat the dungeon right now. I don't think Brave heads back there for a little bit. Like, Pod Eastern area feels lucrative. I mean, Fire Rod's not going to burn her. Ha ha ha, hilarious pun. For those 2 dungeons, but after that, it gets interesting. There's a Skull Small Key. I don't think that's really a deterrent for players. Does make the backtracking through the dungeon nicer, though. Because if Steinchen wants to get those last few items at present, he's going to have to drop in the hole and then save and quit out. Yeah, good catch by Steinchen right there. Didn't get door sucked. One of the enemies dropped full magic. You'll absolutely take that going into a Master Sword. Master Sword fight here. Obviously has Hammer, has Fire Rod. He's in the playoffs. He knows how to play the game. But any extra magic is always nice. And there's yet another Pod Small. Now that's the 4th one, I believe, that's in Logic. So that does put a trio of items in the back of Pod into Logic, just further pushing Brave most likely toward that play. And Moth was not being super cooperative, but he's dead. He drops the other boomerang and a crystal. So that is the first crystal on the board for either player. We're going to get a look at Hype Cave here on Brave's side. Steinchen's going to give us a check of Pedestal, which is just another heart piece. So, Pedestal, once again dead. Not really a surprise, I guess. Hype Cave has the second Ice Small. And Burnout. So that puts Spike Cave into Logic. Brave save and quitting, so that's going to put her atop the pyramid. Which might have been the intention. So Steinchen dropping into Skull here, going to clean up these items before his own save and quit. Picking up Bombos, we need that for the Meyer entry. So, both of the items that can get you into Ice Palace, hanging out here in Skull. 3rd bottle as well. There is the Thieves' Small Key and another shield. Brave enthused, no doubt. Good luck with the checking of that Thieves' Big Chest and such. Apologies for that. So Steinchen back into the Village of Outcast portal. He's going to do, most likely, if he's going to head out here, it's going to be probably bumper ledge check into the mirror checks that Brave did not do. So there's the potential for some more stuff in this area that could be advantageous to Steinchen. Gets the news about the visible small key. Brave, meanwhile, into Pod. She can get everything except the 2 chests related to the big chest. With 5 keys, I'm surprised Brave... Oh, she can open this chest first. That's fair. And open the chest on the bridge before dropping into the vanilla big key chest. Steinchen into Graveyard Ledge. That's bottle percent. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah, so 12 items in pod. 4 in Eastern. There's the cape in pod, so that puts that small key on Bumper Ledge into play. That could be something that persuades Brave to go back to that Skull Woods area a little bit earlier. We know that she's not going to get tempted to ice. And also not tempted to mire because of where the Fire Rod and Bombos are. So Brave didn't miss out on anything in King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge. But she's also not found anything besides the cape in pod. Yeah, I think both Fire Rod and Bombos being in Skull is actually a positive thing for Brave. Yes, Bombos being outside of Skull would absolutely pull her toward the ice, potential ice play, toward a potential mire dive. Yeah, pod has been quite empty. AFG might have something to answer for here. Steinchen, meanwhile, is going to follow in Brave's footsteps. Heading into Thieves Town. Like Brave, he's eventually going to get that small key after beating the dungeon, but that check is going to be way down the list of priorities for both players. And yeah, pod had a cape, and that's about it. So Brave's gonna do this Eastern dive while here, but after this, she is basically gonna be funneled pretty hard into Skullwoods. Trying to think if Brave even has anything else. She's got Spike Cave. And Spike Cave and the 2 mirror checks that we saw on Steinchen's side. It's another GT small and Eastern. Yeah, so right now the play, I think for Brave kind of feels like get that Bumper Ledge, small key into Graveyard Ledge, King's Tomb, into Skullwoods. Got a Turtle Rock small. That's the first TR key we've seen all day, which is intriguing. See no TR keys, no rods. We saw the Fire Rod. So 1 rod. That's almost done. So barring something being here in the Eastern Vanilla Big Key chest, it's exceptionally likely right now that the fire sources from Skullwoods are what is locking the next level of progression in this seed. Yeah, just junk. After he does all of this stuff, though, it's going to be interesting to see what Steinchen opts for. Ice is a beatable option. It's not in logic, but especially with the Cane of Samaria, it's very easy to get the other 7 items. Meyer is not beatable at least. So it would not be surprising if he also opts to head to the Pod Eastern area. Yeah, Scottish was pretty much just funneled here. That Pod Eastern area was a bust. And she's going to come here, quickly find her Fire Rod. Blind down for Steinchen, very nice fight. An upshot for Scottish Brave is also that going to be that she does have that small key that she picked up from the route that Steinchen's probably about to take. So she's not going to get locked out in the pinball room, and just going to be able to continue her route, check the bumper ledge, key, probably do the mirror checks, and then make a decision on Ice Palace. Oh, Ice Palace isn't even in logic without flippers. I forgot about that part. So Meyer is Meyer or Spike Cave. The likely next logical steps. I'm trying to think if that. I guess the small key on bumper ledge could be Desert Palace small. To put other stuff in logic. Yeah, but there's not a lot of other things at this point that are actually in logic as the potential options to take. I think you would probably make the run at Meyer. Yep. Oh, Brave. Deftly avoiding the Wallmaster, getting harassed by... Look at all these heroes protecting this Gyptos. They're doing their best. They're dead now, but they tried. So, Brave into the moth fight. Half magic, fire rod. Just spamming the heck out of Moth, who's hanging up on the spikes. It's pretty uncool, but Moth's dead. Extra boomerang attained. And a crystal on the board. Now, according to Steinchen's tracker, Desert is the 3rd pendant, so... If that is the case, yeah, there's like very little of interest that could actually be in GT in this seed. It would pretty much just be Desert Big, or GT Big, or a fetch quest leading to them. Steinchen's going to fake Powder the Bat here, which is an interesting play. And unfortunately it doesn't pay out, but... It's a nice gamble. He's already doing these Smith chain checks. Brave, about to pick up her bombos. Steinchen grabbing that Skullwood's small key that he probably wish he had prior to beating the dungeon. Would have made things a little bit nicer in terms of not having to do an additional save and quit. But now we can take it home as a souvenir, which is pretty exciting. So we're going to get our first look here at this small camp upper ledge. There's still several small keys that we're interested in. Swamp Small, Desert Palace Closet Key would be nice. A couple of more TR Smalls. And instead it's just a superfluous Skullwood Small. So that's not terribly interesting. So we got a little retracing of steps here. Just a reminder, give these runners a follow. Scottish Brave, Steinchen, two excellent players. I mean, they're in the playoffs. They know how to play. I'm not as familiar with Steinchen, but Brave is been a really great friend to me. Very exciting to watch. And we did play Steinchen in league, and very nice guy. So give them a follow. They're playing a great match here. No, this is game 2. Steinchen won game 1, which was cross keys. So for Brave, this is a match that she needs to win in order to stay alive. Steinchen would advance to a matchup with Flip Heel with a victory. So Brave has done the cleanup, and she is going to opt to use this Bombos to go to Meyer, which makes sense. Right now it is Meyer or Spike Cave as the in-logic options, and I think making this play on density. You also have 2 Meyer Smalls. Left side is not fully in logic, but we got some divergence here because Steinchen is going, it looks like, to Ice Palace. So this is not an in logic play, but it is a beatable dungeon. So yeah, the odds are pretty strong that Brave is going to find the logical progression here, but Steinchen with 7 items to grab could very well find something important. So Steinchen hitting the switch. Does not have the big key, but has 2 Ice Smalls and Samaria. Very nice icebreaker. Both players 0 for 2 on items thus far. Steinchen picking up Blue Mail and the shovel. Can't say that's super intriguing, but it's an item, and he's got it. Great picking up the Swamp Small. Okay, so where are Flippers, game? They're not in ice where Steinchen is. Are they here in Meyer? Or are they in Spike Cave? Or somewhere off of that? Oh, alright. So another GT key for Brave. Brave has not done these desert checks. Steinchen coming up with the TR big key in ice. Great to have. We need it. And yeah, Steinchen's tracker was correct. So desert is the third pendant. So most of what we still need is going to be outside GT. Brave gets her useless Quake medallion. And oh, Brave is also going to head to ice. That's interesting. Oh, she hasn't done these the water checks, right? Save for Zora, they're not in logic. Very nice cold stare fight for Steinchen. I could see Brave doing this Zora area check, saving, quitting to the mountain, and doing Spike Cave. Steinchen's gonna follow up on this shovel. Again, not in logic, but the options are running very thin for both players. Yep. So Brave is gonna do the Spike Cave check. Steinchen is heading over to the pod eastern area. And we did see this on Brave's side. A whole lot of mostly nothing, really. Alright, let's see what Steinchen was unable to get in Spike Cave earlier. It is pod 6. Oh god, is it Gamma's chest in Thieves Town? I think it's Gamma's chest in Thieves Town. Oh dear. Why would the game do this to me? Never know, we always do it, Hitsu. I don't know what you're talking about. I want to double check and see who rolled this seed then. I mean, this was one of those, like, beating this dungeon was blatantly obvious, and then you pick up the small key en route not long afterwards situations. But yeah, for Brave, I believe this is her logical last location. Steinchen has a bunch of garbage to clear in this pod eastern area. The bot rolled the seed. Thank you, Yoinkers. I'm still gonna blame Gamma, but And there's the big key to pod. Sure. Alright. Alright. Brave is heading to pod. Hey, she's got all the small keys now, so that's pretty exciting. It's huge. It's gonna help her open all of the small chests that she's already opened. Yeah, this feels like it's pretty paint by numbers for Brave right now. Steinchen's out of logic clear of ice did not yield any dividends. Brave's gonna get that TR big key whenever she goes there, but she's presumably going to have flippers by the time she does ice pellets. Required ice big next. Possibly. I mean, Brave might have that too. There are those flippers in pod big chest. This is a gross seed. Reroll, please. Per Steinchen's tracker, Pod and Meyer are the 2 5 6s. We'll go with that. Yeah, Steinchen's gonna be doing a bunch of backtracking. Well, not backtracking for him, but going over stuff we've already seen on Brave's side. She's already done this Pod Eastern area. Nope, Steinchen about to flute off and then remembered, oh wait, I didn't go into Eastern. Oops. Honestly, getting fluted away there might have been the best thing for him. Although he presumably would have come back because 4 items versus the stray ones that he has remaining. Are definitely more appealing. So, Brave into the Helmosaur fight. Opting for sword slashes, puts on the cape to knock it out. Smart job by Brave there. Brave's done an excellent job of using her safeties to avoid any real problem. And there is Ether, so that is our Turtle Rock medallion. But next play with these flippers in hand is pretty clear for Brave. She's going to head to Swamp. Steinchen, meanwhile, wrapping up this Eastern dive, and then he is going to be left with the decision as to where to head. And I would think it is probably going to be Meyer at this point. So it'll be a little bit before he starts getting on track to where Brave is. Steinchen back into the portal. Trying to think of what he has left. Possibly catfish? Because he beat Aga pre-Pearl. So he checked Ledge, got the Thieves' Big Key off of Lumberjack, and perhaps he has not checked Catfish yet. And that looks like the situation. But Brave into Swamp. Picks up the Ice Rod here in the second chest. So trying to, let's see, what do we need at this point? Eastern, Desert, GT, Meyer Biggs. A couple of Turtle Rock Smalls. I believe that's it. Yeah, Brave is in key mode. She would surely love another sword, but most of these keys are obviously going to be outside of GT. The GT Big, the Desert Big could both be in Ganon's Tower. Or something directly... Well, actually, is there even anything that could lead to... No, there isn't. I don't believe. Because we saw the shovel. Steinchen fake powdered the bat. So, yeah. Pretty much exhausted our fetch quests. Steinchen is coming back into Village of Outcasts. This is the Bumper Ledge play, I believe. Pretty reasonable. There are some really problematic small keys in his mind that are still sitting out there. Left side Swamp has a Turtle Rock Small for Brave. That's really nice. Cross keys, we're usually not super enthused about TR Smalls. They're mostly whatever. You get one and many times you're good to go. But 80 keys, we need 3 of them. Steinchen picking up that key and is running back to Village, so this could be really good for him. And yeah, he's going to go right back into Thieves, so it's going to get this pod big and get on the track that Brave is on. Alright, so Brave's gotten a TR Small. Not super interesting, but also picked up that Ice Rod. So, presuming that she goes to Ice after this, she's gonna get that TR Big Key. And there's the Skull Big and Mirror Shield, so, you know, mixed bag there for Brave. And the Meyer Big, okay. Well, there's a pretty clear-cut next play. Brave does love that shield, that's true. Saz, you make a good point. Alright, Steinchen about to see that this is a Plando with the pod big and Gamma's chest. At Tark. Meanwhile, Brave into the Argus fight. One would not have an emote for an item that they don't like. That's just facts. Alright, so Steinchen has that pod big. Surely feels dreadful about it. I'm sure Brave felt dreadful about it, but this is one of those kind of, what are you gonna do? Situations. Alright. Nice end to the Argus fight there by Brave. And a piece of heart. But another crystal on the board. So Myers now beatable. That would also put Pyramid Fairy on the board. I don't know that I would do that before Ice. I would pretty strongly consider it before doing TR. But never mind, Brave is actually just gonna go to Ice. I don't know if she has seen the Lake Hylia Island item here. It looks like she has not. So I think this is pretty fair. Check this. Oh, never mind. Maybe she has it as a big key that I just don't remember. Oh my gosh, it's the Ice Big. Well then. Well then. That's not great for Steinchen. It could just be nothing, of course, but... yeah, that's another thing that he is not going to want to be going back to. Presuming he even does pick up that key. Yep, so I think this makes Brave's decision actually even easier. Do Ice here, see what you pull from it. You're going to be able to full clear pretty well. The ideal situation for her would be to pull the Desert Big Key. So that she could just cobble those two Mire area dungeons together. Yeah, Brave has had several inflection points go her way. Really the one post-Aga thing that could have gone Steinchen's way was that Fire Rod and Skull, but the seed just funneled Brave directly back to the Skullwoods area. And she was the first one to get back to Thieves. Steinchen beats Pod. He's gonna go back in for the flippers. It is a bit faster to get that item mirror back to the front than do the exit and re-entry, but just gonna be a little bit extra time. Gonna pick up the flippers here. After picking up Ether on Helma. Brave getting her blue mail. We got two very stylish looking sprites now. Brave picking up her useless shovel. So yeah, this big chest is going to be an interesting one because Steinchen is not coming back here for a long time. There's that TR big for Brave. So Steinchen has flippers, and yeah, now he's pretty much going to be set on the path that Brave has taken. He does already have this Ice Beat, so... does have that on Brave. But we are going to see if anything necessary is here in this Ice Big chest. So Steinchen's coming back. I mean, oh, that is the Desert Palace Big. That is hard required. That was the ideal item for Brave to find there. And that's bad news for Steinchen, I think. That is... he's got... He's got this Mire play that he still hasn't done. And he needs to do it to get this Swamp Small. So yeah, he's going to dive Mire, get this Swamp Small, do Swamp. Yeah, this is actually very rough for Steinchen. It is going to be a hot minute before that is a consideration. And very reasonably so. Because he also has Ether. He has the capacity to get into Turtle Rock, do some damage there. I think that looks significantly better than the Ice Pig chest. So Brave is going to be able to close out the Mire area after finishing off Ice here, which she just did. I think a question for Brave now is going to become, does she opt to do Pyramid Fairy before going up the mountain? She's still one small key shy of being able to beat Turtle Rock right now, although between the 4 checks here and Turtle Rock itself, there's a really good shot that there's going to be at least one small key up there, but GT Big is the one thing that's looming, aside from that, needing at least one more Turtle Rock Small. So the question is, do you want to commit to more stuff off the mountain, or push Turtle Rock into pushing Ganon's Tower? Big Chest of Mire has silvers though, which is very nice. We got those 2 swords right off the bat, the guaranteed sword, and Uncle had Master Sword for us. And that has been it. We've seen no additional sword pickups, so there's a decent chance that, you know, if that GT Big Key is pretty freely available, that this could wind up finishing on a Master Sword fight. So having silvers is nice, having half magic with stuff in a bottle in reserve is nice. But I do think it is fairly safe to say at this point that Brave is in a really good position. Steinchen kind of needs to have an out-of-the-way check go his way to claw back in here. Does pick up the Swamp Small. So that was the big get from the first dive here into Mire. Brave now with these silvers has a very easy Vitreous fight coming up. Nine plus 2, Biddy is down. It gets a small to desert. Well, you know what? We are 100% clearing out the desert area now. So yeah, 4 more checks out here. Yeah, Brave's got these 4 checks, the 3 inside the main area of desert, plus the boss. Then the only other things she has off the mountain, I believe, are Skullwood's Big Chest and Pyramid Fairy. And yeah, it really would be, I think, a little bit surprising for me right now for her to be doing those. I guess it would probably be Pyramid Fairy of the 2. But I'm sure she would really like to see a third TR small. I think that would probably make a decision significantly easier. So Steinchen is into Swamp. And there's a TR small in the Desert Palace closet. It's clutch as always. Steinchen picking up the Ice Rod. Oh, I forgot about Eastern Big. Jeez, that's been such a while since we were in Eastern. Alright, so it's GT Big and Eastern Big, but yeah, so Brave is definitely more likely to do Pyramid Fairy then. If it was just GT Big, I think she's probably out, but you can avoid beating TR and having to come back down for Eastern before GT. That would really be ideal. Alright, Silver's made quick work of Biddy, they make quick work of Lanmo. That is TR4, so last two TR keys in Desert. That is pendant number 3. Not useful, aside from getting us to our 80 goal. But yeah, now Brave's got call to make, and yeah, with Eastern still out there. Oh, she is going Mountain. Alright. I mean, this works out fine for Brave, I think. Worst case, she clears out TR, and just needs to check the stray stuff she has. And we'll get the Eastern Big. But yeah, with all 4 small keys, there's nothing she's gonna potentially leave behind, so... I think the unfortunate thing for Steinchen is going to be, he's going to get this Meyer Big. He's going to beat Meyer. He's going to get the Desert Palace Small, pick up the TR keys, and probably be off. Like, the Desert Big Key being a pendant, one to a pendant dungeon is something that you're just not going to prioritize coming back to Ice. You're going to be doing basically everything in GT. And many other things, probably. Any Astray checks before going back there. But there's the Meyer Big for Steinchen. Brave picks up the Eastern Big, so excellent call by Scottish Brave. So she is GT Big for go. Oh, Brave... oh, interesting. Brave is going to opt to mirror out, beat Eastern, and then do Turtle Rock into GT. Now a pretty clear-cut upshot to this play, I guess, is if GT Big is in either of these two chests in Eastern, Brave can just skip the rest of TR. Like, she's gonna have to reclimb the mountain anyway. I think it does make it pretty clear-cut that Pyramid Fairy, Skull Big Chest are not in the cards for Brave. So, yeah, I feel like this is fairly justifiable here. Brave can save herself a lot of checks in Turtle Rock. And we have seen several occasions in this seed already of the players just spiking an item. Alright. Eastern Big Key, or Eastern Big Chest is nothing. Steinchen is into Meyer. Yeah, the Desert Big Key, though, is going to be a problem for Steinchen no matter what. Oh, Steinchen forgot to do the big chest on his way in. Understandable. This is one of those seeds that it probably doesn't feel wonderful to either player. Particularly that pod big key into flippers situation. Brave gets a small key on Armos, but it's to Skull, and we don't care. But that is crystal number 6 on the board, so Brave's just gonna head right back up to TR. I do not think that there is basically any chance of Pyramid Fairy or Skull Big Chest here. Brave's just gonna get back to TR. Clear that out. She does need to be thorough here, but unbeknownst to her, Steinchen is gonna have to do the same thing. And I would be very surprised if Steinchen doesn't follow up getting his TR keys and go up to the mountain, just like Brave did. So that means he'll be clearing Turtle Rock as well. That would mean that if the GT Big is not here, he'll be clearing GT as well. And still have those same straight checks out there, but the need to also do Desert Palace. So. I enjoyed that portal save for Brave. doesn't really save that much time, but it was still fun. Alright, Steinchen into the Vitreous fight. Also has silvers. And has also beaten Meyer. There's the Desert Palace Closet Key. Desert Big Key is in the Ice Big Chest. The Ice Big Key was on Lake Hylia Island, so Steinchen beat Ice out of Logic before Flippers. So he did not get the Big Key. Brave adhered closer to Logic. So she did get these really gross Flippers, and was able to get the Big Key before coming in, and yeah, it was probably the most disastrous item there for Steinchen. Clean hands routing, yeah. I've heard it hits different. I have. I don't know that I believe it, but... So I think, yeah, Steinchen's only going to come out with 3 smalls because the 4th TR small is in the Desert Big Chest. Brave getting a Meyer small that we don't care about, throw it on the pile. Yeah, Steinchen going up the mountain here. Only these 3 keys, but we just saw Lava Chest was nothing. I think it is rather, yeah. Rather irrelevant, the 3 versus 4, though. Like, if GT Big Key was there, you know, it's basically, it was already GG, but Brave is in a pretty outstanding position. Right now, that Desert Big is effectively in the last thing I think that Steinchen will check. Because as far as I can recall, he has the same options after the mountain. So if GT, Big Key is not in the basement of GT, you do Skull Big Chest, you do Pyramid Fairy in some order, and you know, you get it. And you would probably go right back up to GT, still looking for the Desert Big. So yeah, Braves had a lot of things go her way. Some of them didn't seem significant. It was still pretty close, I would say, before that Desert Palace Big Key situation. Brave does get a stick though, so like if she finds herself in trouble, she may want to play it. Steinchen has joined Brave in TR. So they're both going to beat it. Brave is ahead, not only the dungeon clear, but Steinchen will still have to go off the mountain to Eastern before going to GT. So it's an additional edge for Brave. Will she use this mirror shield? She's going to shoo it. She's just going to dash her way through. You know, I admire Brave's commitment to the bit. And there's the Big Key of Ganon's Tower and Laser Bridge. So that is go mode for Scottish Brave. And yeah, Steinchen is unfortunately probably cooked in this match. Yes, this is just he was already on a roadmap to clearing GT, and then that is just going to be like, yep, do all of it. Whereas Brave, we'll see what Brave opts to open, because again, as mentioned earlier, if all of these keys came outside of Ganon's Tower, which they have, there was a good chance that we're going to finish on Master Sword. We've gotten no sword in the last hour and really like almost 37 minutes, because we got Master Sword from Uncle. The Firehead here of Trinex not being nice. Brave's gonna pop one of these potions. Yeah, starting Master Sword was fun. Got us into Castle Tower for that fun little sequence. But pretty remarkable to have found none since then. Alright, well, Trinex did not play very nice with Brave. He's left a mess on the floor here. But both of the smaller heads are done. Or side heads, maybe. Maybe they're the same size. Anyway, Trinex is dead. Basically, the only thing that Brave wants to see the rest of the way is a sword. Right, crystal number 7 on the board. Brave on her way to GT. Steinchen just did Mimic Cave. Yeah, Brave is gonna push this. This makes total sense. You do not want to be diving around in the basement fishing for swords. Particularly when this is a winner-go-home match for Brave. Again, this is Game 2, this best-of-3 series. Steinchen won Game 1, which was cross keys. So, Brave needs to win this match in order to force a Game 3, which I believe would be tile swap. If I understood their thread correctly. Brave will surely open the 4 chests here on the climb. So, if you actually... Oh, Steinchen's given us the tinks, so those are, got some tinks going there. And picks up his GT Big. Now, a few of these sequences surely don't feel great for Steinchen, but finding that GT Big is, probably pretty heartening that, hey, at least it's not off the mountain. But fortunately for him, the Desert Big Key is in one of the few checks he has off the mountain. So, Brave wrapping up the gauntlet here. Into land mode 2 as Steinchen goes into this Trinex fight. Very nice job of getting rid of the firehead there by Steinchen. And that's a good position for hammerheads. Using Fire Rod to kill the rest of the Ice Head. So, Trinex down on Steinchen's side. Brave about to go to Mini Helma Room. And see if she can pluck a sword here from any of these last 4 chests. 0 for 2. Eschews the pre-Moldorm chest, which is kind of interesting. So Steinchen's gonna go wrap up Eastern right now. Validation chest does not yield a tempered sword, so it will be Master Sword. Silvers for Brave. She does have a red potion and a green. Just like the Aga 1 fight, Aga 2 fight is also going to feature 0 blue balls, and that's a great setup for a triple. This has a potential for 1-2. Oh, but looks like it 8. Counterfeited one of those hits, so that's not cool, Aga, but he's dead. 3 cycles. Very efficiently done for Brave. Yeah, I think it was the second round rather than the first in which 2 counted as 1 there, but either way. Didn't have to belabor it. So, Brave about to drop into the Ganon fight here. Ganon telling us about cheese, which he is wont to do. Oh, Ganon just stopped in the middle of the room. Good on him. So Brave, 8 of the 12 spins needed here in phase 1. That is all but 1, so if she can get this quick one in here, that's a great setup to, yeah, put that cape on and start getting doubles. That is a great setup. That's 8. 10, she will not be able to get to 12. But that is 11 and 12. Ganon will do no warps too, so Brave may opt to cape up and spin. Smart call. She does have to avoid these bats. Alright, so Brave into the 3rd phase. Again, not going to be any Ganon warps here. Phase 3 done. Steinchen has beaten Eastern, is on his way to GT, but Brave is nearly done here. Gets Torch Glitch. She's gonna see if maybe she can get a double off of this lower hit before relighting the torch. Just enough magic. And that's that. So get your GGs in chat for Scottish Brave. It's gonna be the winner of this race at what is going to be an official racetime.gg time of 1:46:14, keeping her playoff hopes alive. And not long after that, Steinchen opted to throw in the forfeit. So it comes a little bit more after just slightly more gameplay. So I'm going to mark it so that we can see if we can get both players in here for a quick interview. But yeah, a match that was largely linear, except basically for that Thieves Town big chest. But yeah, there was some gross stuff. All right, let me. Oh, we are joined by the winner of today's race, Scottish Brave. GG's Brave.
Hi, GG's.
Hello. I'm trying to see if I can get one to Steinchen too. I don't know why it's not.
Yeah, you're just like what she's done. It was like,
Yeah, I'm just here. You know, I wasn't even supposed to work today. I don't know what's going on. So I signed up last second, but yeah, very well played. Fun stuff. I saw you were talking a little bit.
Yeah, that was I don't like. You never wish bad for your opponents, but see, as soon as I opened that Thieves Town big chest, I was like, either the only way I win this now is if Steinchen does the same, or didn't do her basement, and maybe that might be enough. But I can't even.
The thing about that is, the only real progression item that Steinchen got before you was Fire Rod, and that didn't lead to anything. You were first to go back for Thieves. What really won the match, just locked it up, was the Ice Big Key. because that led to the Desert Big Key. And
No.
Steinchen beat Ice Palace out of logic. So he did not get the Ice Big Key until after beating the dungeon. So that is a. I mean, you had a lead anyway. You had built a lead from several choices, but his opting to go out of logic for Ice Palace over going into Mire was actually really detrimental.
Yeah. Do you know the thing is? So I was like, I'm gonna do Swamp first because I've got everything, and then I was looking at Ice Palace and I didn't have the big key, and seeing like what had just happened to Thieves, I was like, I don't want to go and leave something in that big chest. I really, really don't. Sorry if you can hear my child.
No worries at all.
And so yeah, I did Swamp, and then I thought, right, I'll do Highland Island, then I'll do George, and then I'll probably go in, and then I think we got like Mire Big Key, so I was like tempted, but it was like it's 2 checks, like yeah, and then as soon as I did it and got Ice Palace, I was like, okay, I'm doing Ice now. I just the thought crossed my mind to do it earlier, but like I hard lasso-cated going back into Thieves Town. I had nothing left. Like I felt terrible going when I went to Zaha and opened that. I got a small key. I was just like, surely that's not gonna bite me, right? And it did. And honestly, like if anyone goes back or came into my stream, anytime after I found that, my face looked like a slap bum. I was not happy. I was like, cool, dude, whenever you're ready, just finish. Like, I'm cool. I've got things to do as well. So yeah, no, just finish me. It's cool. Like, whatever.
Yeah, no, you actually wound up getting that pod big a pretty decent margin ahead of Steinchen.
Yeah.
The Ice Big Key was just the nail in the coffin there, really.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, let's see. I'm like, there were, I mean, most really, we were talking about it. Well, I guess I was talking, but chat was here too, chiming in that a lot of the decision points went your way. You were more patient in the Castle Tower start, and that actually wound up working out. Steinchen got Zelda, dove the front of Castle Tower, and then was like Lamp. It's like, okay, good.
Yeah,
we know it's in Dark Frost now.
Yeah, that's the thing. So as soon as I got that, I was like, oh, that's really nice, like double sword, that's really nice to start. And then it was as I was walking in, I was like, oh, that could mean something else. Yeah. And then I was like, no, just go. Like, if we have to go, we can save and quit and just get to the front anyway. It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. And then, I don't know what it was, I knew in my head what I was going to do if I didn't find that small key, went and got Castle Tower Small, and then still tried to go through the door. I was like, what are you doing?
And then you tried to backtrack for a little bit, too.
I did this thing, it's like, see when I was in Zelda Cell, I was like, right, so this is what we do, we go in, if it's not the small key, you save and quit, and then, because you can't walk back out, and then I still tried to do everything wrong, and it was like, what are you doing? So I knew what to do, and then I just decided that was boring, and I was just going to try and do everything wrong. You know, content. That's what it was. Content. Yeah.
Content. Yes.
Yes.
It's got to be dramatic. You know.
Yeah, of course. Yes, drama. Yes, that's exactly what I was going for. Yes.
So that was fun. Obviously, that's not going to make a huge difference in a 80 key seed, but it was just an interesting early divergence. But like, you were the first person to go to the mountain, which had lots of stuff. Had plenty of stuff. Opened up a lot of options. Steinchen was the first to get Fire Rod, but that really didn't lead him to anything. Honestly, we were saying in chat too that like the fact that Fire Rod and Bombos were both in the front of Skull was actually really a blessing for you, because that's not tempting you to go to Mire or Ice Palace before going back to Skull.
Well, I mean, to be fair, nothing could tempt me into Mire. That's apart from that. But yeah, no, do you know what? I didn't have a small key and I didn't want to steal the key and use it to go left. So I thought, like, I'll just leave it. We've got mitts. I can get back super quick. If I get a key, then I'll come back. But also, if I do manage to find fire rod, like Johnny's got it or something, it's like, what if I got fire rod? Then I can just do it in the one. I think my eyes actually left my head. They rolled back that far when I was like, oh, fire rod in Skullwoods, how absolutely original. Like, woo.
Yeah.
So it was honestly, it was just because I didn't have a small key and I didn't want to steal the one under the pot, just in case.
Yeah.
Like, it's unlikely, but if there was a situation where I could do Skullwoods, I didn't want to be in the position of having to look for a small key.
Yeah, that was Steinchen did it without a small, so he got that fire rod. I mean, makes sense. You just go beat Moth, but then he had to dive back in to get the left side of the front. So he lost a little bit of time there, having to save and quit out versus you being able to mirror out and just keep your route moving. And yeah, like the big decision, I guess, that led to the big inflection point was that you opted to go to Meyer and stay in logic versus Steinchen making that ice play and getting burned by the ice pick key, unfortunately.
Yeah. It was. I was a bit surprised it was pod big in Thieves. I thought it was going to be the flippers, especially when I went into Meyer and got swamp small. I was like, cool, it's flippers. Like, for sure it's flippers. And then, yeah, I got the pod big, and it's like, what? Okay, back in the pod,
Yeah.
even though I've literally just left there. Like, also, AFG, pod was empty, apart from those flippers. I just want you to know that.
Mhm. That is, not really a shocking development, but Steinchen, meanwhile, has it does merit mentioning that Steinchen has found the desert big and has emptied his bomb reserves on the chest. So you know what? Plus one for Steinchen there.
Definitely.
Yeah. So before we get to the wrap up part, we do have a question in chat. Darkus would like to know, what flavor is Iron Brew? Is that how I pronounce it? Iron Brew?
Iron Brew.
It's Iron Brew.
Brew, yeah.
They deleted the extra vowel.
There's no need for it.
There's no need. Okay, understood.
But also,
Yeah.
if you come over, there's people who try and imitate it, and they put iron with the O, Iron Brew. But no, it's no, because you can't use Iron Brew because Iron Brew is bars, whereas Iron Brew is like Asda or Morrison's own brand, which you can't hold a candle to the original. But no, the story is that it was made near the shipyard, so bits of iron used to fall in, and that's how you got your iron, was drinking Iron Brew. But as for what it tastes like Iron Brew. There's not a flavour like it in the world. It's just tastes like Iron Brew. People say it tastes like bubblegum. Don't believe them, they're liars, and also don't know what bubblegum tastes like. Just, it tastes like Iron Brew. There's not fucking...
bubblegum tastes like Iron Brew, of course. Everyone says
I've tried
that.
bubblegum. I don't like bubblegum, but Iron Brew courses through my veins right now. It's how I'm staying alive. It's got caffeine in it. That's why I'm drinking about a 2-litre bottle a day at the moment to actually just stay awake.
Caffeine plus that wonderful shipyard iron.
Indeed.
It's the breakfast of champions.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this gets you even in this best of 3 series. It was a must win today, so hopefully that feels pretty good.
It does. Like, just yesterday, it was an awful seed.
I saw the times.
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, Steinchen just played it better, and he just played it better and made the right calls. So I went into this one, I was like, I have to, like, I want to stay in. So I was like, man, I really, really want to win this one. And then just the Thieves Town or Thieves Chest onwards, I was like, cool. Well, it's been lovely playing in this tournament. It's been a fun time. Like, yeah. So no, I'm honestly like super chuffed to get the win. I'm glad to take it to a third round. So yeah, it'll be AD tile swap will be the next one.
All right. Is there a loose time that's been planned for it, or was it TBD based on the results?
Yeah, just based on the results. I know it won't be tomorrow, for sure. So yeah, we'll probably get it scheduled quite quick because I believe Steinchen's based in Germany, so just an hour ahead. So we shouldn't have too much trouble getting scheduled.
I mean, that's good. So, yeah, I mean, it's always great when, these series can go an extra game, and, there's just so many good players that, being able to stay in this tournament's a real feat.
I feel a bit lucky.
we take those, though. We take those.
Yeah, no, definitely. Steinchen's an incredible player, so yeah, glad to take it to a game 3 at the very least.
All right, so yeah, I think that's going to wrap it for us, Brave. Is there any last thoughts you'd like to give before I sign us off?
Thank you for doing the calls.
You're most welcome.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you for doing the restream, and keep an eye out for game 3 from us.
Yep, that should be a good one. Looking forward to it. So, yeah, GG's again to Brave. GG's to Steinchen for, eviscerating this Ice Palace big chest here for us at the end. And the game 3 is on the docket, as Brave just mentioned to you. Looking at the schedule, I think there's like 5 more matches yet to come today, starting at 4 Eastern. The defending champion, Mr. Chu, is playing AK Drizzt in Kabuki. 7 Eastern, Telethar versus Cool Papa Bell Cross Keys. 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Gilgamesh versus Leoria in Kabuki. 9 p.m. Eastern, Tiso versus Home_Wrecker in Enemizer. And 10 p.m. Eastern, Sean Rhapsody against Tyler Salt, also Enemizer. So plenty of action to come. Many thanks to Phoenix for getting this set up last minute so we could get this on the air for you. Thank you, chat, for hanging out. Hope that you have a great rest of your day. Thanks.